How far would you go to help someone in need? For 13-year-old Daniel, the answer was simple. He gave up something he had dreamed of for months to help a struggling classmate. What he didn't know was that his small act of kindness would lead to something far beyond his imagination. Before we dive in, make sure to subscribe to the Stories Unfolded. We share inspiring and heartwarming stories that remind us of the power of compassion and love. Let's get into it. Daniel wasn't like most kids his age. While many of his friends spent their weekends playing video games or hanging out at the mall, Daniel worked hard to save money. Whether it was mowing lawns, shoveling snow, or delivering newspapers, he was always hustling. For months, he had been saving for one thing: a pair of the latest sneakers that everyone at school was talking about. These weren't just any shoes. They were a status symbol, a way to feel like he belonged in a school where appearances mattered. Daniel kept a picture of the sneakers taped to his bedroom wall, next to a small jar where he stored his hard-earned money. Each coin and dollar bill represented hours of effort, and every time he added to the jar, he felt one step closer to his goal. But Daniel's dream wasn't just about the shoes. It was about proving to himself that hard work paid off. He couldn't wait for the day he'd walk into school wearing those sneakers, knowing he'd earned them with his own two hands. One chilly afternoon, as Daniel sat in the cafeteria, he noticed Lucas, a boy from his math class, sitting alone. Lucas was a quiet kid who didn't have many friends. He often kept to himself, blending into the background. But today, Daniel noticed something different. Lucas's shoes were in terrible shape. Holes in the soles, frayed laces, and mismatched socks peeking through the gaps. Every step Lucas took seemed like a struggle, and Daniel couldn't help but feel a pang of sympathy. At first, he tried to ignore it. After all, he had his own goals to focus on. But as the days went by, he couldn't shake the image of Lucas walking to class in those worn-out shoes, his head down, avoiding eye contact with anyone who might judge him. That night, as Daniel stared at the picture of his dream sneakers, he felt a tug in his heart. "I can't let this go," he thought. "Lucas needs shoes more than I do." The next day, Daniel walked into the local shoe store with his jar of money. He had spent weeks imagining this moment, picturing himself picking out the sneakers he had worked so hard for. But instead of heading to the sneaker section, he walked to the aisle with winter boots. His heart felt heavy, but he knew he was making the right choice. The store clerk, a middle-aged woman with kind eyes, noticed his hesitation. "Looking for something special?" she asked. Daniel nodded. "I need a good pair of boots, size 9. They're for a friend." The clerk smiled and brought out a pair of sturdy, insulated boots. Daniel handed over his jar of money and watched as the clerk counted it out. It was just enough to cover the cost. As he walked out of the store with the box in his hands, Daniel felt a mix of emotions: sadness for giving up his dream, but also a deep sense of purpose. The following morning, Daniel waited by the school entrance for Lucas. When Lucas arrived, Daniel approached him with the box. "Hey, Lucas," he said, his voice steady despite the nerves fluttering in his chest. Lucas looked up, confused. "Hey, Daniel, what's up?" Daniel held out the box. "These are for you." Lucas stared at the box, his face a mixture of surprise and disbelief. "What? Why?" Daniel shrugged, trying to play it cool. "I noticed your shoes. I thought you could use a new pair." Lucas hesitated, his hands trembling as he took the box. When he opened it and saw the boots, tears filled his eyes. I don't know what to say. Thank you." "You don't have to say anything." Daniel replied with a smile. Just wear them. Word of Daniel's act of kindness spread quickly through the school. Teachers and students alike were touched by his selflessness. But Daniel didn't think much of it. He hadn't done it for recognition. He'd done it because it was the right thing to do. 2 weeks later, as Daniel was finishing his homework, a loud rumble echoed through the neighborhood. Curious, he looked out the window and saw a large delivery truck pulling into his driveway. "Mom, Dad, there's a truck outside," Daniel shouted, running to the door. A man stepped out, holding a clipboard and a box. "Is this the Dawson residence?" Daniel's parents nodded, exchanging puzzled looks. "Yes, it is. Can we help you?" The man smiled. "Actually, I'm here to deliver something for Daniel." Daniel stepped forward, confused. "For me?" The man nodded and opened the back of the truck. Inside were stacks of shoeboxes, sneakers, boots, and everything in between. "We heard about what you did for your classmate," the man explained. "Someone shared your story with the local shoe company, and they wanted to thank you. These shoes are for you and your family. And there's one more thing." From the front seat, the man pulled out a smaller box. He handed it to Daniel, who opened it with trembling hands. Inside were the very sneakers he had dreamed of owning. A note attached to the box read, "Dear Daniel, your kindness and generosity inspire us all. We hope these shoes remind you that good deeds never go unnoticed. Keep spreading the love." Tears filled Daniel's eyes as he held the shoes. "I didn't do it for a reward," he said softly. His mother placed a hand on his shoulder. "I know, sweetheart. That's why this happened." The story didn't end there. Inspired by Daniel's act of kindness, the shoe company partnered with the school to provide footwear for every student in need. Lucas and many others received brand new shoes, restoring their confidence and leveling the playing field. At school, Lucas approached Daniel, wearing his new boots with pride. "Thanks to you, I can run in gym class again," he said with a smile. Daniel grinned. "That's all that matters." The two boys became close friends, their bond a testament to the power of compassion and selflessness. But Daniel's story reached far beyond his school. News outlets picked it up, sharing a message of hope and generosity that inspired thousands. People from around the world wrote letters to Daniel, thanking him for reminding them of the power of small acts of kindness. Daniel's journey proves that true wealth isn't measured in material possessions, but in the love and kindness we share with others. He gave up his dream, not for recognition or reward, but because he saw someone in need and chose to act. And in return, the world reminded him that kindness always finds its way back to us. A single act of kindness can change lives and inspire others to do the same. If this story touched your heart, please like and share it to spread the message of generosity. Don't forget to subscribe to Stories Unfolded for more inspiring tales. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next story.